Theoretically, an even much more paranoid conspiratorial phone call. Interview. Part 4. The actor. Hi, I'm Jorge Villacorta, the protagonist in Theoretically, an even much more paranoid conspiratorial phone call. This is part 4 of the interview. We ran out of tape, and we are. I was talking about my process, how I face the role I have been demanded in a particular production. Well, I already explained that the most important thing is my body, but that the studying about the historical background in which the movie or the story of the movie is going to develop is not necessary. But that it provides very useful information that helps me a lot because I can question my own social assumptions about what I'm doing, and that's important for me. And I was saying, even though I didn't mention that this way, that to become the character, but I already explained that one doesn't become the character because the habitus, the socialized subjectivity that makes mainstream movies imposes a particular viewpoint. So there are many subjectivities, there are many realisms that are competing one against the others. They are competing between them. So my main point here is that, okay, let's say that I am the character. I am what I am doing to become the character. I am trying to train myself to react like the character, because memorizing the screenplay, recited to your lines is just one of the aspects. But if you want to learn more about what you really do in or the character does in real life, try to train yourself, your body. So when you get something and you have been practicing, there is a bit of a little difference, like someone who grabs something with the confidence of doing that. You can fake it, and in general nobody notices a difference, but also you can do it knowing about it. And if you are an actor who wants to feel what other people feel, you do that. You change your activity and you imitate the activity developed by the character. So you learn a bit, or you feel a bit what you are doing. It may look like you are a method actor, but it's not necessary. You don't need to feel what the character feels, but at least making what the character makes, what the character does, allows you to have an experience, a social experience of what he really does. So that's important, and that was part of my process. But the point is, what happens when you have a lot of power and you make ridiculous psychological operations like I would do, and that's not a character, but maybe the character would react like that. I would have to receive the screenplay, read the screenplay. But what happened with the boss? The boss has a particular attitude toward everything, and as a human being, I wonder. Well, a human being, in fact, as a member of an habitus myself, I have to wonder how this guy reacts in this particular situation. What does he do? How does he react? So I have people calling me and asking me for how to use situations. just to feel it. And you may be thinking, but that's what you do when you're practicing for your screenplay. Yes, but I also like to improvise in these during these practices and study alternative situations that are not in the script play because they are very useful, and you get accustomed to answering a particular question because human training the body provides you with a number of responses that you didn't have previously. It's so very simple. It's like having 20 different jobs to have a wider experience of the human reality. That's so simple. That at least that is the way I face it. So reading about the Soviet Union was not that important, even though it is a fascinating subject. I learned about different. I learned a lot about different aspects of such a society, even though it has it had its own inner conflicts. It was a very interesting project, and the main point is my main point is how do you recreate the experience of being in such a country? If you want to learn, not to learn, because that's the difference. Yet we usually think, or there is this position that states that tourism is sort of imperialist activity because those of us who cannot travel stay in the same place. And traveling is an activity that demands resources. So also the tourist industry comes with a lot of infrastructure that alters the place and create artificial situations in consumption, etc, etc, etc. Because, well, the point is, how do you travel to the past? How do you travel, or to the future, parallel future, alternate future, to experience that, to feel that? Because one of the wonderful ways is, yeah, you watch the movie, theoretically, and even much more conspiratory phone call, and feel you feel what it implies to watch someone in the face for a long time. And this has been a tremendously demanding role physically, because you probably in the movie you watch me like this, but you know that if you do this and you don't move for a long time, you will feel the pain because the blood doesn't circulate properly. And if you sit in a position and you don't move, you know that is kind of a torture too. So even though in the movie they didn't demand, they didn't want me to be sitting there without moving for more than an hour, and the movie is made in a different place, it was demanding because I had to experience myself what it implies to be moving to be sitting without moving. You should try to be sitting like this without moving for 15 minutes. It's going to hurt a bit. In fact, from socialist viewpoints, schools are like concentration camps because little children should run and jump and fall and play, but if you keep them in concentration camps where they cannot move, and in classrooms where they cannot move, they are atrophying their body. That's why, well, that's not my viewpoint, that's a socialist viewpoint.